Yeah, let's go.
Serenity, you rescued me from the storms I used to chase. I found your voice in quiet waves. In stillness I found grace. No more chains and no more plea. I am who I'm meant to be. At last I breathe serenity.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. We're back.
Hi. We are definitely back. Another
We are
week,
back.
a new week. Maybe this week was better. I don't know. Was it good on your side?
Kind of both. It was good. I got stuff done, but it was bad because there was a lot of change, and it was terrifying. Kind of went through an emotional breakdown. A lot of things happening in the world, and kind of hit me down deep. And so that's kind of why the topic tonight is all about change, because we look at change is it's not a gentle thing. It's terrifying. It's like that monster under the bed. You don't know what to expect. And
Go.
I've personally been going through quite a bit of that over the last few days, and kind of eased into it last week. But this week we're going to carry it on a little bit. But of course, as always, we got to dive into crypto news first and foremost.
Look at this culprit.
Hi, Coco. What are you doing? What is Coco doing now?
He's trying to chuck things around here again.
Tearing the place up. I like
Casual cat
Party
things, you know.
Exactly. Want to say, hey, Justine, good to have you with us, brother. And Wild Angel, how you doing, dear? Yes.
Hello,
as
Alan.
you know,
Hello, Justine.
every Friday night we have a party here at my house. Me Costa, Sue Costa. So kick your shoes off the door, pour yourself a drink. Better yet, make it two. Might be here a while, but we're gonna be here a little bit less than usual because I suddenly got a pair of tickets to go see Citizen Soldier. So if you haven't heard their music or know anything about them, I highly recommend listen to their song "Through Hell." It's one of my favorites, and it's a very powerful, inspirational song that, man, even though we got to go through hell in our life, but that's how you tell a story. It's how you have something worth telling is you got to kind of experience it. You'll live that life. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. So we'll be ducking out a little bit early, but not too bad. So don't you worry.
I'll definitely have to go check that out because I've never heard of, what is it, Citizen Soldier. There we go.
Citizen Soldier, yes.
Cool
I
name.
had a thing.
Cool name,
Yeah,
not
and-
gonna lie.
Looks like a Wild Angel broke things. I did share my favorite song in the Down Home Crypto Discord, so you can go check that out. If your Discord's working, apparently Wild Angels is not. Sorry to hear that, Wild Angel.
Oh.
I gotta find a way to get you an invite link. So I don't know. We'll figure this out on the go.
Email it.
Anyway, that's a good idea. I can do that. But I'll do that here in a sec. Right now, we've definitely got to jump to the crypto news and get through that. There's not a lot, but there are some important things I want to tell you about. So let's bring down the notes here so I know what the hell I'm talking about. It says, I'm working on it. Email works. Okay, I might have to do that. I will send you an email on that, Wild Angel. Alpha, you want to send her an email? You do that while I'll talk.
I don't
Okay.
think I have.
Okay, fine. You got the notes. You start talking about it. Go for it. You talk
Yes.
about the Fed cut and what happened and why everything kind of went to shit this week. Is the markets did. I mean, we were looking great last week, and now all of a sudden, about Wednesday, Thursday, everything just took a dump. So tell us what's going on there, and I will email Wild Angel.
Okay, yeah, send Wild Angel an email. We're going back to the golden ages of communication. So this week, let's see, we had a... Actually, need to just double check that I'm not looking at things wrong. Okay.
Wow.
You have a lot
unprepared.
of notes.
I do have a lot of notes. I make notes. Believe it or not, guys, I don't just come up here and babble. I really try to get some notes and kind of in order that we want to go. And so, yes, as you can see, Alpha, the first set of notes talks all about the topic I just discussed.
Okay,
You do
here
that.
we go. Found it. So last week, the Fed cut interest rates by 25 basis points. But then on Tuesday, Jerome Powell went on a talk about weakening job market with 1 million fewer jobs available over the past year, with inflation sitting around 2.7% and several people feel a pushback against further interest rate cuts, citing persistent inflation. So to put that into more layman's terms, basically Jerome Powell went on live and he said, like, so these interest cuts are cool and all, but at the end of the day, they amass negative for everyone. So everyone has also been pushing back against these interest cuts, saying that, like, we can't afford to do these interest cuts when it's just going to ruin the economy further. Inflation is sitting around 2.7%. A million people have lost their jobs over the past year, while a million less people have gotten jobs over the last year. So it doesn't make sense to cut the interest rates when all of these things are not looking good. And because of that, it kind of triggered a very intense market downturn, you could say. And the best proof of this is that Bitcoin failed to reclaim 113,000, which is like, if Bitcoin can't even go past 113, when its ATH is what, 123, 124 at this point, somewhere around there. If Bitcoin can't climb higher than 113, that just shows that the market itself is not doing well, because Bitcoin is kind of the best indicator for us, especially in crypto, since we don't exactly check the stock markets. But Bitcoin is our stock market, you could say.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of our thermometer of what's going on. And yeah, I mean, the inflation at 2.7%, that's higher than the 2% that they were planning. And yeah, there's 1 million fewer jobs available this year than there was last year. So obviously, people are having problems, making ends meet. They're not getting the jobs out there. And then, with that Bitcoin inability to reclaim that 113,000. There was a wave of liquidations totaling $1.8 billion in 24-hour time frame. I mean, that is a huge wave of liquidations. It's a lot of money went out. And this has pushed the fear and greed index to 28, which is way on the fear side. People are terrified. Nobody knows what's going on between the political unrest over in Ukraine and all that. And I mean, everything is just chaos. And so a lot of people are scared. And so we're seeing that in the markets day by day. So, I'm really kind of curious. How are you preparing for what could come next? Are you kind of hoarding? Are you stockpiling? Are you kind of diversifying? Let me know in the chat. What is your guys' best tips that you can share here on how people can deal with all this fear that's going around? It's getting sketchy right now. How are you dealing with it, Alpha?
I mean, South Africa's fine. We're good. I have most of my money in crypto, so I don't really care. I don't have much in the way of physical assets in fiats and stuff like that. So for me, it doesn't really matter how the rest of the world goes ahead and how fiats are doing. For me, it's just like, I have crypto. I know my crypto is good. I have control of that. So I'm not too worried about it. If the markets crash, it's cool. I'll just get more fiat out of that crypto.
That works okay.
That's how I see it.
That's fair.
But if it doesn't crash, that's also cool.
Yeah. And Wildan says, hodl and diversify. Smart girl. Somebody was paying attention on Rags to Riches. Because yes, I mean, that's going to get you set for whatever comes. Hold on to it. Remember, this is a long-term game, not a short-term. So, plan for the future. And
if things do crash, as people that are in crypto, if we liquidate some of our crypto, we're getting at a much better stock position than other people have over the past few years.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Yeah. And I look back at times like yesterday. It's like, I really wish I should have sold a chunk of my bag on Wednesday and rebought it on Thursday. That would have been awesome. I would have made a 10% gain on that.
It's like,
shoulda, woulda, coulda, huh?
yeah. There's always those.
Exactly.
Always.
And CK says, collateralizing BTC on CB to get USDC to buy more BTC. CK, I have thought about that. It's like, do it on a lending platform. So I know a lot of people are really doing great at that. I need to talk to you about that, CK, and because I would like to learn a little bit more about that in the future, because that might be a great way to just continue to build nice and slow without putting a lot out there. Yeah, exactly. Well, hindsight is 2020. It is. And I look back now and say, wow, I really shoulda, coulda, but we don't know the future. So, you know what? Be proud of yourself, be smart moving forward, and just be prepared for whatever comes.
And besides, if you can't afford the risk, don't do it. At the end of the day, you looked at it, you said, I can't afford the risk of this not doing well. I'm not going to do it. If you could afford the risk, you would have done it.
Exactly. And yeah, 4% interest, that's not bad. I'm pretty sure BTC is going to go more than 4% in the
Yeah,
next year.
definitely.
I think we're pretty safe there. So yes, definitely got to do that.
I mean, unless it like downtrends for a while, you know, and then you're like, we have to wait a year before it decides to start pumping again. But is that likely? No, I don't think so. I think Bitcoin is very much on its rise now.
Oh yeah.
Might take a
I
bit
think
of
it's going to be a
time,
steady
but it's
growth.
definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be a steady growth. There's too many mainstream industries involved in BTC. I mean, we're going to see some rise and falls, things like that, but we're not going to go crashing back down again. That's my opinion. I don't know. And Wild Angel, I failed psychic sharing in kindergarten. Yeah, I tried. They just said I was crazy, so I gave up on it.
Maybe we're
So-
all crazy. Yeah.
Thank you. I resemble that remark. I do. So yeah, it did. The markets have been weird. The biggest thing, guys, is don't buy into the panic. Be smart about it. Work your plan. Hopefully you set it up months ago, and it's just executing. And just like I shared on the charts many times in the Down Home Crypto Discord, and here every Friday, we've shared his chart where he's let us know, hey, it's going to be doing this whole wavy thing for quite some time. So we're going to be riding this wave. Hopefully you get some nice entry points, and you just keep stockpiling. Keep doing DCA. It's your best friend you could possibly have in investing.
And there's a lot of places that allow you to automatically do it, so it's not even difficult. I think like
Yeah.
Coinbase for one does it, where you can like deposit a certain amount and be like, okay, DCA into this specific token every week, every month, or whatever, and it does it for you. There's nothing that can stop you from it. In other words, like if you want to do it, you will do it because it's easy. It's very easy.
Exactly.
Think
It does it all
all of the
automatically
same-
for you.
I think all of the centralized exchanges do it now, and I think you can even do it in a
Pretty much.
decentralized way with what's it, Hyperliquid and stuff like that.
Oh, there's a bunch of them. Yeah. There are so many different ways to do it out there. I mean, you can't throw a rock without hitting an option to DCA out there. It's everywhere.
Very true. Very true.
So, okay, so let's shift gears into more of the DeFi world here, guys. So, all you Helium lovers out there, like myself, who operate in the Helium network and also love Discord, which I do when it works right. I know Wild Angel hates it right now, but most of the time, I mean, I game on it. I do everything through Discord. Well, sad news for you guys, because on November 3rd, Helium will be shutting down its Discord server. Right.
What?
They're moving to a read-only format, except for their live streams they'll have on X Spaces. They will not have a Discord anymore. So officially November 3rd, the Helium Discord will be shutting down.
That's
So,
an interesting decision.
It is. Yeah. Why? I don't know. They're talking about they think the X Spaces is a much better way to get new reach, and maybe they're just thinking the Discord is outdated. They didn't go into big explanation on it, but it is something I didn't want you guys to go into the Discord and go, where did it go? And think that they just crash and burn. No, they did announce they will be doing this transition. And I think we're seeing a lot of this. I think we're seeing X really dominate these live spaces. And believe it or not, it's like YouTube and Discord are kind of the old school method. Everybody wants to be on X now. Ask Elon. That's the only place you want to be. Everywhere else is crap. Elon will tell you that, I'm sure.
I can understand the thoughts, honestly, because X Spaces
Right.
do get a lot more reach than Discord. I mean, for Discord to get any reach, people have to be in the Discord. On X, people don't have to be following you. They can just see, oh, that person's live on an X Space. Okay, let's just go up in. And the perk with
Right.
X also is that, let's say you have 10 speakers. All of those speakers, all their followers are going to get the notification showing that, oh, this person is speaking on this panel.
Right.
That's like, if all of those people, even if all of those people have 1,000 followers, that's 10,000 followers that people that will be able to potentially be able to see it. So it's like, it just makes sense. It makes a lot of sense from their part.
It does. It does. The one thing I fear about it is, I think the Discord is much more of a one-on-one interaction kind of platform. And so I'm kind of worried about that. I like having that one-on-one interaction with any crypto project where I can go and I can open a support ticket. I can talk to other members of the community and we can share our experiences. So taking that away, I'm not going to lie, it makes me a little bit nervous. So I was like, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, I can
60%
understand
being
that.
was
I can definitely understand that, because Discord is kind of the go-to place for like, yo, I need help.
Right.
Let's connect with the community. I don't see X as that. X doesn't come across like
No.
that. X is more of a, okay, let's check what updates are there.
Exactly. It's follow the hype, and it's like, okay, we just want to push the hype, things like that. So I get it. It's a great way to reach out to a lot of people and let them know what's going on, but it doesn't give you a great way to talk to the community and find out what's going on. So I worry about that disconnect. So let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? Is this a good move or a bad move on Helium's part? Love to hear about it.
Certainly interesting. I did have also something that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we spoke about it, I think, 2 months ago? So Plasma Foundation, Plasma is USDT, basically. So Plasma is USDT. We all know of USDT, the largest stablecoin. So Plasma is USDT, but they own blockchain. I know, like, kind of USDT is Tron and all, but anyway, that's not my problem. So they've partnered up with a few other stablecoin issues and everything to create this Plasma Foundation and the Plasma blockchain. They did a raise, I think about 2 months ago, where they raised about 1.5 billion, somewhere around there. And like the first 500 million was done within like 12 minutes. So clearly there was a lot of people that was into it. I think the top 10 wallets or so, top 5 wallets or so was like 50 million each. So they did max. Yeah, people were excited.
They were.
So they
apparently
finally went live with their blockchain, and everyone that contributed at least $800 got a, what is the token called? XPL or XLP, something like that. So all of those people that contributed at least $800 got the XLP, XPL, X something token airdrop. So that's cool. You know, people got the airdrop, and from what I hear, it's a pretty huge airdrop. Some people manage to get like 20x what they put in. So it's like, damn. I don't know if there's people cashed out, but you know, that happened.
And then that just wrecked the token. That's the way it goes. And, you know, we're seeing a lot of stable coins, a lot of different stable coins pop up, and kind of makes you wonder, like, how many can there really be out there? I mean, do we really need this many? And I don't know. It's going to be interesting over the next year or two who stays up and running and who kind of falls by the wayside.
True.
Yeah.
We will definitely see a lot. I mean, we've seen a lot more stable coins come out, and all I think is competition. And I think competition is good. Competition for stable coins is a great thing, because that means we're going to see better and more stable coins, you could say. Everyone's going to try to outcompete with each other, which means we're just going to get better and better products in the end, hopefully.
Yep, and just more ways that retail investors can come in and put their money to work in a stable environment without worrying about fluctuation or volatility. So it's actually a good thing to see a lot of these stable coins come up, as long as they're backed, you know, 1-to-1 and they are stable and solid. RLUSD, exactly. There you go. RL? Well, that's real life. Yeah, real life USD.
Real life
USD. So
we all need some of that.
we do. We do need some of that. Absolutely. And you know, you mentioned airdrops. Now, as we know, many of the airdrops we've seen over the last year have been pretty ugly. The one that turned out pretty well so far was Star Power. Told you guys about that a couple weeks ago. When I did the video, it was at 3 cents. A week later, it was at 11 cents. And it's still holding pretty solid between 13 and 10 cents right now. So, you know, that's one if you held on to it. Might go up, might go down. We really don't know, but it is doing pretty well. But I also told you guys last week about the WingBits airdrop that will be coming up. And I tried to give you the numbers and explain it to you, and a lot of you are like, what did he even say? So you know what? I'm going to make this a little bit easier, because I'm going to make a slide, or I made a slide, to help explain this. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. So I want to give you a breakdown so this makes a little more sense. So if you've gotten into WingBits already and you've been mining, then, whoops, there we go. Then you've been participating in what's called the beta section, okay? Because the token generation event hasn't occurred yet. So all the Wing tokens you're earning up to this point are in the beta version. Now, like I told you last week, it will be a direct 1-to-1 distribution at TGE. No slide? There's a slide. I got a slide, see? Wow. Audience is already getting on me. No slides. So it will be 1-to-1. Now, at token generation event, when that occurs, all the wings you earned during the beta section, okay, those are going to be unlocked. Let's say we're going to run an example here. If you earned 10,000 wing tokens during beta version, okay, at TGE, 5% of those will unlock immediately, plus 20% bonus on top of that 5%. So if you had 10,000 wing tokens, So you multiply that by your 5% gives you 500 tokens at TGE. And 20% of that will kick it up to 600. So you get 600 wing tokens right at TGE to claim. Okay? Now, the remainder will be paid over the next 365 days. Is how it's going to plan out. Plus, if you keep your WingBit miner online, you'll get an extra 20% per day as long as it's online. Now, that's per day of your daily beta returns. Okay, so of your 9,500 tokens remaining out of your 10,000, divide that by your 365 gives you 26 daily tokens. Now, you add the bonus of 20% of that 26 is going to give you 31.2 tokens per day. That means that, and that's just of your beta tokens. That's not what you're actually earning today. So that means your daily rewards will still be earned, whatever you get that day, plus the 31.2 wing tokens per day, up until you've drained out everything you earned during the beta process. Does that make a little more sense there?
That does. That does.
Okay.
It's going to take a while to get all your tokens.
It will. It will. But, that's one thing is during an airdrop, usually they hand out all these tokens. What happens to it? It crashes and burns, and the project's just dead. So I wanted to break this down for you guys because I know it's very confusing. It's like, wait a minute, I get 5% plus 20%. It's like, oh, what? Even I was getting confused trying to explain it. So I had to make this slide to help you guys work through this. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. I'm happy to answer whatever I can. I'm not a master of WingBits, but I have been earning with them since the beginning of time. So when I told you guys, get that little box for $40 from Amazon, save yourself from buying a miner. Because now those WingBit miners are what, $400 for the basic, and $1,000 if you get it with a GeoNet miner combination. So if you followed my videos way back in the day and I told you about it when I got started, you probably got a great deal and you've got a pretty nice stockpile of wing tokens.
Huh.
Now,
Okay.
so that's how that works. Now, one other thing on WingBits is they just announced a new partnership with Korean Air.
What color is the WingBits token?
It's a digital token, so I'm going to say bluish white for electricity. That sounds good.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes, that sounds
Yes.
good.
That sounds good. That sounds good. I did say any questions. You're right. And if not, I'll just make shit up. I'm okay with that. But yeah, WingBits is still growing. I mean, we've had all kinds of news articles where they were on a satellite that was launched. What was that? 4 months ago? 5 months ago? WingBits was part of that. We've seen multiple partnerships, and they just announced a new one with Korean Air. And WingBits has partnered with Korean Air Research and Development Center to advance a cross-airspace management platform. So, deal provides real-time ADS-B data from Icheon and key global regions to support advanced air mobility studies. Collaboration underscores their shared commitment to innovation, safety, and next-generation aviation. So, hey, who knows? Maybe our WingBit miners will be tracking the flying cars here in the next 20 years or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Think about all the drones we got going out there. If we're actually earning from drones, man, that would be great because they got to register with the FAA too. So you never know.
True.
So
True.
Yeah. So if you have any questions on that, definitely reach out to me or jump in the Down Home Crypto Discord, and happy to answer whatever question I have. I went online today and found that one of my miners was offline. So I know I did a quick restart. We'll see if that fixed it.
Hopefully it did, because
I hope so.
It could be a problem.
It
Hopefully it doesn't do that. Hopefully
Right,
it doesn't do
and-
that, like when TGE happens and then you're like, oh, but I missed my 20% today.
I need my 20. And, that's one of the most important things, especially right now where there's so much fear and so much uncertainty. Keeping an eye on your investments, monitoring your hardware, monitoring whatever you've got out there is really important because it's so easy to put it out of sight, out of mind, and just forget about it. I still do my daily check-ins with NoGo, Rainmaker, Nubula, SkyX. All these I do a daily check-in, at least once, sometimes 2 to 3, depending on what I'm running. And so make it a habit. Whether it's on your phone, pick a 5-minute time frame. Whether it's I'm gonna go walk myself in the bathroom for 5 minutes and just check everything. Okay, fine. Find a way, because the last thing you want to do is forget about it and then find out that you missed out on a TGE or that maybe a miner was offline and you've lost everything over the last month. Like, oh man, I know it's a pain, but hey, these are your investments, so it's up to you to monitor.
That they are.
It is.
Here we go.
Now, as I monitor my next investment, this is one that I've been sharing with you guys And I totally blame Alpha on this one. Yeah, he talked me into it. He twisted my arm. It's like, fine, I will. I thought you were talking security monitoring. Hi, CK. Welcome to the show, buddy. Glad you could join us. You got to monitor your security, too, because that's getting sketchy as hell out there. I mean, every time I turn around, somebody else getting hacked or something's compromised. Yeah, it's getting scary. But yes, I blame this one on Alpha Cruz because he talked me into it. So I'm keeping you guys informed on one of my investments, which was with Pox. Now, I didn't put a lot into it. I started with $109. And, Alpha assured me I'd be able to retire in 6 months, but I'm not seeing it yet.
You gotta trust the process. Trust the process, okay? Okay, you gotta trust the process.
I'm trusting. In
Things
fact,
have
I'm
changed with
auto-compounding.
Pox. Things have changed with Pox Protocol, and it's taken a few weeks to get used to the new things, and then things will look up, okay? Just trust the process.
Hey, I gotta say, over the last week, the way the markets have been, the fact that I still got a, where's percentage? There it is. ROI, 16.64%. I'm pretty good with that over the last week. Not too shabby at all.
I think that would be like, what, 2% of your total for just this week?
Yeah. That's not bad. So it's one that, I've been monitoring and sharing with you guys. I don't have referral or anything like that. It's something that, it's put out by Monstro, and I love Various, and I love everything they do over there. And I've still got my farms, and I'm getting paid every week from them. So if you want to learn more about Monstro or Pox or any of that, reach out to us at Down Home Crypto Discord. We'll hook up with Alpha or Various, whatever we need to do to get you the information. But so far, Pox has been being pretty good. It's kind of a cruise control. I put it in, I set it, and forget it, and away I go. So I kind of like those investments. One less thing I have to babysit.
Me too. I do not like having to actively check things I forget, okay? I forget. I know I'm going to forget, so I just don't do it. It's just like, I'm not about to set myself up for failure. So I just don't do it.
And that's fair. And, and that's one thing is there is so much stuff going on in the crypto world that it makes it almost impossible to keep up to date with what's happening. So we've got one area that you guys can actually go in and get a play-by-play as things change or things modify, where you can monitor what's going on. Because our brother CK has his own dedicated section within the Discord. Right under here where it says Family Projects, go to CK's Drop channel. Check this out. This is just the morning review of today, or 2 days ago, of what's going on. I mean, this is all the crypto information, from decentralized finances to what's going on in Australia. The U.S. judge denies son's bid. I mean, there's a lot of information here. We're trying to make sure the Discord is up to date and keeping you informed. In fact, I want to bring up CK right now to tell us a little bit about what's going on right now that maybe we might not be hearing about in mainstream media. So, CK, how you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, everyone?
I'm in the green, my man. How about you?
This is probably. I did go on video once 6 months ago, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
It's your second time.
No, it's probably the second time. Yeah. So
After Danica.
I represent the Irish, the old Irish up here. But yeah, so let's dive in some of this stuff. So like I've worked in finance for a while, and I get like probably 15 newsletters every morning, from AI to tech to whatever. So what I tried to do was, and I'm gonna read off of it. I'm not even gonna lie and say that I memorized everything.
You didn't memorize it? Oh man, I did kind of put you on the spot today.
But I kind of just like combine the things that I find important for me to go throughout the week. So take note that this is Monday morning. So a little bit has changed, obviously, since Monday. A lot of it has changed since Monday morning. But generally, if you looked at the report and if you even read the first paragraph, and these are like Wall Street analysts, right? These are like the Wall Street people. And like they were saying Bitcoin and ETH had combined outflows of about $440 million, right? Bitcoin funds losing 360, and ETH was shedding around 75. So outflows means price is about to go down. The ETF is balancing. To balance the ETF, they have to say BlackRock would have to sell off the asset to keep it balanced. You understand how that works? So going into this week, there was an expected decline. A lot of people talk about financials and technical analysis doesn't work in crypto. It clearly did in this example, and that might have been just a stroke of luck, honestly, on my part. But if you read, like, say, the first paragraph or the second, we saw $375 million of liquidations going into Monday morning. It was right there in front of your face to sell or short, honestly, if you follow TA. But then again, crypto is, there are a lot of, it's not the way it was 2 cycles ago, where it's pretty much a mathematical equation that would do this, like up and down. There are obviously many more people involved, and many more people with a lot more money involved that can swing the price a bit. But some of the highlights, I would say, not to get too statistical here, in my opinion, we've kind of flattened our bottoms about where we are. I personally don't see us going too much lower. I actually did exactly what I said in the chat earlier, and I took out a $10,000 loan of USDC on my Bitcoin to buy more Bitcoin, because I believe that Bitcoin is going to go up from here. That's my investment. Do your own research. Don't follow me. Don't copy me. But basically, the out view that Wall Street had going into the week was price go down. And that's exactly what happened. They were exactly right. Some of the major headlines, potentially more than just price go down, that might be more interesting, is really you're just seeing a lot of the Fortune 500 companies kind of race to crypto right now. And who can, I forget what it's called, ISO 200026, whatever the new international monetary fund rule that is coming out with, all banks have to adopt at a certain date, and they are going to choose which method they're going to use. A lot of people believe they're going to use the XRP ledger because you can trade Bitcoin and Ethereum on that ledger. I do hold XRP. This is not an XRP shill.
Me
but
too.
There are also other assets that they can possibly use for stuff like that. Like, for example, we saw, who was it? Was it XRP that partnered, I believe, with Genesis? Or Gemini? Gemini. They did with Gemini. Coinbase has their card coming out. One of the big things is debit cards right now, and everyone's trying to cover that market. Trump's children's company, I don't know, World Life Finance, whatever you want to call it.
Oh yes, or Liberty.
Yeah, they announced debit cards this week, and that's big news, because now you have that one, you have the XRP debit card, you have Coinbase card, you have the MetaMask card. That's 4, I believe, that have come out in the last 6 months, and there might be more.
I feel like there's probably more, because I think I've seen
definitely
around 50 at this point, which is an insane figure. I know I had a website somewhere that like ranked them all based on like usage and stuff, and how many places in the world you can use them. I was like 47 at that time, and we've had a few more since then. So I was like, it's crazy.
and we're going to see more. I mean, as these big financial companies get into it, everybody wants a piece, and as we know, debit cards, credit cards, all that, they're getting their fees. They're taking their pound of flesh out of every transaction. So yeah, we're going to see more and more of that as we see more adoption from big financial companies.
And they're all going to want to do their own stable coins too, because you might as well.
Use my money, not his money. His money's crap. My money's great. It's the same day. It's a stable coin, man.
and they are working towards that. I believe each one of them towards their own stablecoin, and I'm not sure exactly how it's going to pan out. I don't think anyone is, but I go by like the regulations and who's properly regulated, has the proper licensing. And at the end of the day, and again, not an XRP shill, RLUSD is fully compliant right in the U.S. Now you had Tether. They just came out with like a U.S. like a America-made stablecoin. I forget what they called it, but so it would be compliant with the regulations that Trump has set in. So you have those two right there at the top. So you got Circle, and Circle was already compliant. So you got Circle, Tether, and then XRP that have their 3 that are fully compliant with regulations. But Bank of America's in talks with I think they were in talks with Link about creating one. So basically,
Yes,
Uh,
yes, yes.
yeah, the growth plans for those companies are stable coins and debit cards right now. And debit cards have been attacked. What they're going to go for next, probably credit cards in some way when
Mhm.
crypto becomes more, creates a better reputation, I would say, as a collateralized asset. But just quickly, any major headlines. There's nothing really too crazy. Well, this is important. Morgan Stanley is going to offer crypto trading on E-Trade as early as 2026. So that's a pretty big deal because the barrier that we have faced, and we all talk about retail coming in, and we're all going to sell and dump on retail, and we're all going to get rich. That's not our plan. It's not our plan. But things like that are going to help get on board people. We got, what are other some good news? Crypto's rich list now comprises of 36 billionaires and 250,000 millionaires. So that list is, correct me if
I'm not one of those.
I'm not either. But those are people that were not billionaires or millionaires before they started investing in crypto. So the dream, I mean, talk about the American dream is dead. A lot of people say it's dead. It's right here on this freaking show right now.
Go to crypto.
Yeah. It just changed gears. It's not what it used to look like. And that's where a lot of people run into problems, is when things don't look like what they imagined. And that's where we kind of move into the topic for the night of change. Because as we know, change is scary. Now, the great thing is CK has that post in our Down Home Crypto Discord, guys. So if you aren't already a member of Down Home Crypto, definitely jump in there. I'll put a link in the chat here because our Discord is going to stay alive. I don't know about Helium's Discord, but ours ain't going nowhere. Oh, check that out. We've got a QR code. Alpha's working hard. We got a QR, or you can type it in old school way. Either way, jump in the Discord. Make sure you're up to date on what CK is sharing and get to know the community, because there's some amazing information and some great people out there to help you along the way.
Yeah, and thank you for your time. I threw a little picture in there, just a little knowledge. You should kind of know how a rig works and stuff, and a little fun.
I saw that server setup. That was pretty badass. I like that. Oh, that's what that's for. I thought it just looked really cool. Like, I want one of those because it's got flashy lights. That's great.
So that's it. So I'm gonna try and keep those consistent once a week and stuff going forward. So thank you all.
All right.
For the support there.
Thanks, CK. Appreciate that, brother. So, like we're talking about, change is terrifying, whether it's change in the financial world, the crypto world. You don't have to leave, CK. You can stay. It's okay. He's like, I'm ducking out. He's talking. I'm running away now.
I was going to smoke a cigarette, so I didn't want to sit here and just be like, got the Godfather.
Dude, it's Friday night. I don't give a shit. Kick back, relax, smoke. I vape, drink. Hey, party's at my place. You are more than welcome. Be real. That's the biggest thing here, is being real. And, being real sometimes is being vulnerable. It's, sharing the information that maybe you might get judged for. And tonight's topic is all about change. Now, before we do that, of course, it's not a party with just 3 guys. That's just kind of weird. So we got to add a beautiful woman into the mix. Wild Angel, how you doing, girl?
You're muted.
You're mute.
She's doing the Serenity. It's like, son of a bitch!
I have that shirt, CK.
The Stellar one?
Yeah.
I got it last year in East Denver.
Yeah. You were at the poker event.
Right.
Yeah. We actually got ours
the imaginary
in the vendor hall. Right.
How's your week going, Wild Angel?
Pretty good. It's been kind of squirrely, but not in a bad way. Just a lot of here, there, everywhere. So I'm kind of flaky. But I'm really excited that we get to go to the concert tonight.
Yes. So, guys, as I told you in the beginning, we're going to cut it a little bit short tonight because we're going to duck out to go see a concert. For the record, we are going to go be watching Citizen Soldier. But now, the great thing is, we didn't have to pay full price for the tickets because, Lord knows, the way the markets are moving, we don't got no spare cash. Everything we go in is our DCA and our investment. Yeah. So, Wild Angel, let us know, how can a veteran like you score some amazing tickets to all these events, but not have to pay full ticket price?
It's not just for veterans. It is also first responders now.
Ooh.
You want to pull up that screen for VetTix? Yes, VetTix. They also have a first Tix, 1ST. But it's kind of cool. Not only do they do tickets for veterans, but for active duty military, they do like when a family's been deployed and they're trying to put these families back together. They've done dream trips, that kind of thing, to help give the service members time to spend with their families without worrying about the financial burden of these big trips. So any donations that you do go to providing tickets, providing those dream trips. Holy cow, less costly.
It's easy for you to say.
But if you are a veteran or a service member or a first responder, you can go to VetTix. I am going to send Serenity a referral link that he can post for me.
Yeah.
I get a few coins. You can do lotteries for these bigger events. Some of the concerts we've gone to have been on lottery, and I pledge my tokens to get into the lottery. And then if we win the lottery, then they take those coins. But part of how we get those is by referrals.
Right.
Or sending thank you notes and pictures during or after the event.
Right. We have to take a picture at every event, right? And then send that in. That how that works?
I have a little sign that says thanks VetTix, and I hold it up and we all take a picture. They also have merch. So I have a VetTix shirt, which if I can find it, I might have lost enough weight to wear it.
There you go.
But so yeah, you get brownie points for mentioning VetTix, not just taking a picture. That's why a lot of those pictures you saw had a little sign that said VetTix. But it's a great organization. Tonight, normally these tickets for this concert sell for $58. We don't actually pay for tickets. We pay a $16.97, I think is what it is, delivery fee, electronic delivery fee that helps them process the tickets and everything. And then I throw a donation usually on top of that, because I got 4 tickets, grand total $28.
Whoa.
Normally this would have been almost 250.
Yeah.
I got this drop last minute. I was getting out of work and it says, hey, tickets available. So I check it and I'm like, ooh, Citizen Soldier, absolutely. Didn't look at the date. And then went, Serenity, I just got 4 tickets and it's tonight at 7.
Yeah. We got to talk about our scheduling thing here, because I don't mind going.
It was a hell of an opportunity, so I jumped on it.
Yeah.
But this is a fabulous organization. If you know any veterans or any first responders, please, please, please pass this along. Like I said, we will get a referral into the Down Home Discord and go from there.
Absolutely.
That is nice.
I'm sure it's you see the same people, right? Just like at the crypto events, like it's a good community. I'm sure.
You cut out there at the beginning.
I like that whole thing. That whole group is a good community for networking in general too. Just like having fun and making friends. Just like in Denver, you'll see the same people every time. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, you don't actually know always who's a VetTix person. They don't like put us all together.
Unless you look for the sign, which we've done.
Unless they're taking a picture with a sign or have a shirt.
Okay.
You don't know. It is very anonymous. Because we just get the tickets e-delivered just like everybody else in the world who's going to these events, and you just scan them tickets like that. You don't know unless you're like standing in line, BSing with people.
Right. or a lot of times you'll see them with either a veteran's hat or a shirt, or maybe they're holding the sign up. And we've run across several people at different events where we've been able to like, hey, I saw that sign. So we go wandering over, start talking to these people, just like you would at any crypto event. It's like, hey, I saw this. It's like, I saw you on YouTube. It's like, let's exchange. Let's get to know each other. Same kind of thing happens. And so it's great to build that camaraderie. Because I think some people are kind of afraid of taking advantage of things like this, but this is one of the great ways that people are giving back to those who have, sacrificed so much, or the family members who sacrifice just as much. They go through just as much trauma, if not more so, in some time. I can tell that when we deployed my son to Afghanistan. It's like, yeah, we go through a lot of stress, just like not the same as they do, but it's great that they give to the dependents as well. So the family members, dependents, and the veterans, all as well as active service members.
My
And first
opinion is
responders.
families serve right along with their soldiers.
Oh, God, yeah.
And the uncertainty on their part, in a way, makes it more traumatic for the family than the service member. Service member knows exactly what they're doing.
They sign that dotted
families
line.
don't.
Yeah. No. And a lot of times they'll go dark. I know for my son, we didn't hear from him for months. It's like, what's going on? It's like, oh, just got back from a walk through the city. Like, and how did that go? I'm like, I'm still alive. Like, great. Good to hear it. I guess that's good, right?
Yeah, at least.
Right.
Damn.
But it's that uncertainty that gets you, and it's with anything in life. Whether it's you don't know what's going on with your loved one who's serving, or you don't know what's going on with your job, or maybe something's changed in your life, and you have no idea what is next. And that's kind of what tonight's topic is all about: is the terror of change. Anytime something changes, we freak out. Human nature is we kind of go along on our path and we know what's going on, and when it doesn't, when things just get mixed up, most of us go in that fight or flight. And typically it's more fight and try to keep the old thing we know. And when we don't know, we're just terrified, straight up. Now, this kind of triggered, I kind of talked about this last week on its topic, about breaking out of the shadow of yourself, the old person you used to be. Well, my son did that to me over the last week. We've kind of been experiencing this, and you sat down and was like, Dad, you keep seeing me as the old person I used to be. I need to be the man I can become. I need you to let me break out of the shadow, out of your shadow and my old shadow. And I can tell you, it has been very, very hard. Literally, I had an emotional breakdown, more or less, over the last couple days to try to deal with this. And one of the best things I learned about through recovery, things like that, is to share the trauma, because I guarantee other people going through this. And it's hard. It's really hard when your son or family member, or a job change or a school change or whatever it is no longer what you expected or what you believe in. And so that terror can really build up a lot of feelings. Now, I know, Alpha, you've gone through some of these changes due to extreme loss of loved ones. And I'm sure that has caused just the same thing with you. CK, you and I have talked about employment change. I know you've gone through the same kind of thing. Wild Angel, you deal with me every day, so it's always changing. So I really want to kind of touch on this and help the people out there that are going through this change, because like we saw, there's 1 million less jobs over the last year. People are going to be unemployed. People are going to go through trauma. So I want to make sure we put out some help on how to deal with this stuff, let alone let them know they're not alone out there. So, CK, man, I'm going to call on you first, because it's first time on camera. So, you've gone through some trauma over the while. So, tell us a little bit about whatever you can, whatever you're comfortable with, and how have you been dealing with it, brother?
One of my passions is helping people struggle, or that are struggling through things I've already been through. So I love talking about this type of stuff. Just the first metaphor analogy is, when you're in life, right? You are just on a surfboard or you're on a boat, and then there's the ocean. The ocean's gonna have storms. The ocean's gonna be calm. Sometimes the ocean's gonna really F your shit up. But that you don't have to let it affect you. You have to adapt and change, because we live in a physical world, right? If your house is on fire, you can't just stay inside and meditate and survive. If you have to adjust and change, but in the mental part, and that's the most important part. That's what most people struggle with, and that goes back to the veterans and stuff. And it's kind of about a state of presence, a state of being comfortable in your own skin, a state of, all right, things can go way bad, and I'm good. I'm stable. Things can go great. I'm still gonna remain. For me, at least in my experiences, it was not getting too excited on the highs and not getting too depressed on the lows, and kind of trying to find a balance. And that's something I actually learned through mindfulness meditation. But I'll pass it off.
Nice.
Brady Bunch.
I love the silence after that. I was like, okay, who wants to follow that? Because that was great. And,
Just
you're right,
looking
CK,
up,
and-
kind of like the Brady Bunch.
yeah, pretty much. And CK, you're right, man. It's really tough to ride those waves and not get impacted. When it comes crashing down, it's tough. It's tough not to lose yourself, and I kind of lost myself over the last few days. And I had to step out of it for a good half a day, just like, okay, he's trying to be his own person. What am I afraid of? Am I afraid of losing him? Am I afraid that he'll make mistakes? I mean, that's what I want him to do, right? He's not going to grow if I don't let him. So how do I deal with that as a parent? To me, that was traumatic. How do I just wind my kid up and turn him loose in the real world? Say, okay, sink or swim. It's all you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'll add to that, I don't have children, so like I can't relate, and I know, and I don't say this as a joke. I know I can't relate, because everyone puts themselves first until they have a child, and that's when they put the child before themselves. And we all know that's true. Well, all parents know that's true. Very few people that don't have children know that's true, but I know that's true. So
Good for you.
It is like what you're going through, Serenity. It's a massive change in his life, but it's a massive change in your life as well. And it's a really hard. There is no perfect. Perfect is the best you can do. There is no perfect way to handle that type of situation, and I think you're gonna do a great job. That's awesome.
Thank you, brother. I'm trying. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that, hey, we're all going through trauma, so we got to deal with it, and that's what we do together. So we bond together, we come up here, and we share our stories. And that's, I think, super important to realize that you are not the only one going through these kind of traumatic experiences or losses. And Alpha, man, I know you and I have dealt with a lot of loss, a lot of change over the last year. You particularly on the loss side. And I know you've got a different way of dealing with it, especially being in South Africa. You guys have a different mentality there. So how do you guys deal with major changes that really devastate your world?
South Africans don't take anything seriously. I'll make that as the first comment. So if anything major changes, the first thing South Africans do is make a joke out of it, literally. I can make some interesting examples, like when COVID first happened, our president put on the mask, but he put on the mask wrong, and that meme was trending for weeks, literal weeks. Even now, I will still see that meme pop up. That's just how South Africans are.
How do you put a mask on wrong, like the top of his head, or what?
Let's pretend this is the mask, eh?
Do I even want to know?
So this
I've
is
never-
the mask. You
I've
put the
never
mask
seen
on like
it.
this, right?
Right.
You need this.
I don't see it, so it doesn't affect me. Is that how the game works?
Yeah. It's quite
Yeah.
ironic that he put it on that way. Can't see it.
It's like the whole ostrich putting his head in the sand and the body sticking out. It's like, you don't see me.
So just the fact that South Africans, we don't take things seriously. We really don't. We are a very, maybe because we have so many problems that we always deal with, we just like, there's no point in taking anything serious and just make everything a joke. Might as well just make everything a joke. I know one of the most, like on TikTok, the one sound that you'll hear a lot is like, South Africa is not a serious place. And then the one thing that you hear a lot is like, only in Cape Town will you see such cuck. And it's kind of a voice like that. And then it'll just like show something really whack, and you're like, yeah,
It's
no,
like, why
only
am
in
I
Cape
here?
Town.
Okay.
Only in Cape Town. Only in Cape Town. So people, we make fun of everything, and that's kind of how I deal with things too. Generally, I'll try to make a joke out of it. I'll try to take things into a less serious and make it more of a like, okay, how do we laugh about it? What do I find that I can laugh about it? And on the other hand is that I tend to um, I'm ADHD. Okay, my brain is not functional the same way that neurotypical people function. I have very bad emotional connection, you could say. I don't do well with emotions. I don't feel a lot most of the time. My happiness is probably like 10% of what other people's happiness is. My sadness is 10% of what other people's are. Generally, I don't feel a lot. Now, when I lose or when something changes, I tend to not feel it immediately. So my brain doesn't process it until maybe a year later. And then it will hit my brain like, oh yeah, this happened. And I'm like, why did you do that to me now?
That is actually a neurodivergence trait.
Yeah.
I would be interested to have Alpha tested, see if he is on the spectrum like a lot of you guys. That's very much a spectrum trait. An autism spectrum trait is to have that disassociation of emotion, or to not process it the same way. I would be curious. There's a couple other traits you have, Alpha, that have led me down that direction as well. So I would be curious.
Just with my signing Alpha out for guinea pig testing. Here we go.
Right. Just with my experience with the spectrum. But Alpha, when you said, showed putting the mask on strange, it reminded me of my daughter when she was like 5. She closed her eyes because I was trying to show her something. And she goes, you can't see me because my eyes are closed. And it was a perfect, kindergartner statement. And I think a lot of times the world presents itself that way. If we put our blinders on, then it doesn't affect us. So putting the mask on over his face, he couldn't interact with that.
He was like,
it was great.
Not yet.
And Serenity, I want to pass on a piece of fabulous advice that I was once given by a very, very wise woman. There is no such thing as a perfect parent. There is only good enough. We hope that in the long run, we were good enough to prepare them to be on their own and not depend on us.
That's good advice. And yeah, it's one I need to take to heart. As you know, I worry a lot. I worry about everything. I'm kind of like the opposite of Alpha. I feel everything to an extreme. Yeah, your 10% is like a drop in the bucket in mine, and yeah, my bucket's like
his is
ocean size.
210.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I can't imagine that.
I did not have a great relationship with my parents between the ages of 14 to 20.
What kid does?
I was a little bit on the I was drinking and smoking at 14. I was a little bit early on that stuff. But I ended it early too. That's how it worked. But at the time, I criticized my parents about everything they did. Why I almost wanted to change my name. I was like, why did they name me this? Everything they did, I was anti. I was against it. And then they were not. They were perfect for me, and that's the way I look at it now as an adult, looking back at it, right? And that's just the way it is. So.
That's good. Thank you.
Something that I try and tell people is make your connections when you're struggling, even when you're not struggling. Make those connections. That way, when you are struggling, they're already there. Reach out. Like our Discord server, we have so many people who have been through so much crap, from addiction to grief to everything, homelessness, everything in between. Yep, we've been there.
Pretty much everything.
And we're there to support you. And so regardless of what it is, just reach out. Somebody is going to speak up and say, hey, let me share my strength. Let me share my hope with you. Because that's what they did for us. So also there are community resources out there if you're struggling with, if it's financial, if it's academically, if it's being food insecure. What did they call it? The unhoused, I think, is the new politically correct term for homelessness.
Yeah, I love that one. That's
Yes, the unhoused.
unhoused.
It's like unaligned. But,
Yeah,
yeah.
screw that.
And-
I was homeless, man. Straight up. Yeah, there's
Right.
no unhoused. Nah.
You were
And food
unhoused.
insecurity and all this kind of stuff. There's community resources out there. One of the big ones that I'm a proponent of is United Way in the US. The United Way not only has their own programs like community schools, they help provide after school programs. We have kids that come home with backpacks with groceries in them for the weekends to make sure that these kids aren't food insecure over the weekend because they're not getting breakfast and lunch at school. To help these families meet these basic needs. And then not only that, but they fund programs. These little community programs will do grant proposals, and the United Way funds those. And
Now,
so
you're actually
in
a
October-
ambassador for United Way or
I'm
something,
a
aren't you?
campaign coordinator, actually.
Campaign coordinator. Okay.
Employee campaign coordinator for the state of Idaho.
Is that an
In
undisclosed
our-
shill?
What?
Was that an undisclosed shill?
I was getting there. I was getting there. I was going to say in October, the state of Idaho does a huge fundraising drive for the state agencies. And we've got chili feeds. We've got a silent auction, which Lowe's has donated an auction item for us this year, which is my other job. But we do a lot of things to raise a lot of money. And I figured it out. If everybody in my agency did a payroll deduction of $5 a paycheck, that's like my coffee was $12 today. $5, so $10 a month. We would raise almost $10,000 over a year. And that could fund an entire program for a year.
That's pretty cool.
One of the things I always say is your change can make a lasting change in somebody else's life. So I have donation cans everywhere. And I ask people just to throw in their spare change.
And that's a great way to do it. And there's a lot of programs out there, a lot of things that people can reach out
Right.
for, but there's a lot of times in life where maybe there's not a program, or there's not a way to deal with it. So like just to change, going through that trauma of changes and stuff. And it's not so big that maybe it caused homelessness or something like
Right.
that, but it still causes the same type of trauma on the inside. And Odin had a great point here, where having empathy can be a double-edged sword. It can be helpful in some ways, but it can also be very negative. And I know that transition of trying to figure out, okay, am I empathetic? Am I sympathetic? Do I need to stop being either? I mean, there's a lot of things like this in our lives that I think everybody here deals with that really puts things out there that maybe there's not a resource to go out and reach out for.
Right.
And so, Wild Angel, when those things come up, and it's not something that you could call United Way or get something like that, how do you find the best way to deal with this type of trauma that comes along with the change and the uncertainty?
Well, and one of the things I've learned is that even good change causes fear and anxiety. We're looking at a filing system change. I'm all for it. I'm really excited. But then I'm looking at, oh crap, there's a lot that could go wrong. I started school last week and I'm good, but I challenged a question on an answer on our first quiz. Because,
Good for you.
I challenge it. And so even good changes cause fear and anxiety. And I talk to you, Serenity. A lot of times, Alpha, I don't process things while it's going on, but I'll come down later. and I will fall apart later in a hard way.
Yeah,
I
I've
can
seen
hold
it.
it together
It's not pretty.
during. It is ugly. I can hold it together during the whatever's going on, but once it's over and the adrenaline starts to go away, I
Mm.
like atom bomb.
It's funny. I'm opposite. Wow, then I act well. I don't know. I feel I really. So my grandfather passed like a year and a half ago, and like so like I had to be the man of the family. Right. So like
Mhm.
I went in the bathroom, got my tears out for a minute, so no one saw. Then no one in my family saw me cry because I had to be the shoulder to lean on. I feel like
Yes.
my situation as a man, and that's just the culture I was raised in. I had to step up and be that person. So I faced it head on first, went through, even though, I mean, it was probably more than a minute, and then maybe some other private time, but still have to put up that front of you are the pillar of strength of the family. I don't know. It's different situation. It's situational, very situational.
And
It is,
sometimes I
and-
do that too. Is
Mhm.
I put, and mine is totally fake it. I am holding it together, sometimes by the skin of my teeth, to get through, because other people need me to be that strength and that focused calm. And that's why later, that's when shit hits the fan, when I don't have to hold that together anymore.
Right.
So
Exactly. And, CK, it's interesting because like you, I was raised the same way, very much old school, raised by a single mother farmer. And it's like, buck up. And older brother, 8 years more. And he was always like, quit being such a kid. Be a man. So I was raised very much the same way. And, I got to say, one thing I realized going through addiction, recovery, things like that. And one of the most powerful messages or realizations I ever came to is that I found it far more powerful and far more effective to be vulnerable, to show my inner side, to allow myself to cry in public. I'll go to a movie and I'll bawl like a little kid, like, oh my God, Bambi's dead. Oh God, no. Maybe not quite that extreme, but especially as a parent, I've really tried to teach my children exactly opposite of how I was raised. I was like, no, it takes more courage and heart to show what you feel than it does to hide it. And more people will connect and respect me. And I found, at least for me, I'm not saying for you or anybody else, but for me, being that vulnerable person, getting up here and telling you, hey guys, I fucked up, my bad, or I screwed up, or I'm feeling terrified because my son wants to be treated like a man. Most people would say, that's showing weakness. It's like, nah, man, to me, that's showing strength. I am showing my inner vulnerability and I'm sharing it wholeheartedly. I'm not holding anything back. I'm not hiding anything. And that puts us under that very uncomfortable microscope of, the world can see me for who I am, not who I'm pretending to be. And so it's really tough to do, man. I've been there. I've been where you were as a younger age. And now that I'm older and gone through this, like, I don't know. I think personally, I find it harder to be vulnerable than to be strong, but I find it more empowering for others.
I agree 150%. Like 150%. But like what I was referring to is like the hysterics. Like if you
Right.
have to like be a mess, that you don't show that to other people. You can still like you're allowed to cry as a man. Someone like your father dies, like it's upsetting.
Okay.
Like you know what I mean? Like, but and you're there for everyone. But like the hysterics are like being like crying in the corner, or like
Right.
where you can't be that or I can't be that person. But at least
Right.
in my but showing emotion, I'm more the person that pushes people too. Because I come from a very Irish family that, if anyone knows old school Irish New York City families, everyone's an alcoholic and no one shows emotion. That's about it.
Okay.
So
I
that's
think it's those that are impacted by the UK, because I know some people that are very British and they're very stoic
Oh yeah.
and
British
don't
are
lose your
serious.
shit in public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a truth to that. You can show vulnerability around people you can trust or be comfortable with, but I will never show a vulnerability to someone that I think might backstab me. No way.
Hmm.
So it's a
Um,
yeah.
compliment.
that's a different conversation, but
Right. But it's still very uncomfortable either way you do it. And yeah, Ode, man, you're right. There are times I will go in and I will tinker. I will lock myself in the garage. It's like I'm going out to work on the bike or the car or something. Yeah, lock my door in the office here and I start ripping computers apart, brother. Those hobbies and things like that are great distractions to deal with the emotional turmoil and get through it. So yeah, I'm with you, buddy. Let's tear something
Me
up.
too.
Let's build something new.
yeah, dude, I've been
And
to Alpha knows. I've been coding in what we call creating a lot of tech debt. And Alpha knows. But I've just been coding like 12 hours a day for 8 weeks. And tech debt is basically when you build something in this type of way, and then you realize that like layer 2 was wrong, so you have to undo 3 layers and then rebuild it.
ouch.
So yeah, a lot of like cursor fees. but it has kept me like focused and busy, and I love it.
And that's good. And sometimes we got to do that. And it's like you're talking, and it's kind of funny, CK, because when things hit the fan, you can ask Wild Angel. I'm that guy that goes just ice cold. I feel nothing, not anger, not hate, not sorrow. I'm just ice cold and logical until the trauma's over. Then I fall apart. Then, yeah, it's
Like
okay,
me.
emergency's dealt with. Okay, everyone's good. Great. Now I'm done. Game over. I check out. So there are times where you do have to be vulnerable, but other times you've got to basically turn it off like a valve. And I think change is one of those. It's like, oh man, I'm terrified. I don't know what's going to become of it, but I have to still perform this task or whatever. Maybe it's a filing system. Maybe it's dealing with coding while your boss is standing there looking over your shoulder. You can't just break down in tears. I mean, that's just not going to work, of course.
I have.
I guess it does work. Okay.
Well, no, it's because usually there's an error on my part and I feel stupid. My deputy director is an insanely brilliant man. He's an actuary and it intimidates me.
Yeah.
And if he tells me there's an error, I instantly start crying. It just starts leaking and there's no control. It's not like sobbing crying. It's just, they'll start running down my face. So I was told that's a trait of somebody who had a severe loss when they were a small child. It's a trait. They just start leaking. Yeah, it's common. Apparently.
All I can think of is
I lost my
the
mom
Star
when I
Trek
was
movie.
8.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
subconscious trauma.
So
No, I'm
yeah,
saying
it's
subconscious trauma.
yeah. And so my brain just says, okay, leak.
Yeah.
So in Alpha's in scenario making fun of things, all I can think of is the newer Star Trek movie with Chris Pike, where he's walking around going, I feel like I'm leaking. Yeah, for some reason that jumped in my head. Like, yeah,
That sounds about right.
I was gonna say that.
Or the Grinch.
Yeah, and life is a joke, because no one makes it out alive anyway. So,
YOLO.
this is true.
like,
Dark humor is one of the best ways to deal with shit.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and South Africans are good at that. I know.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Actually, a few weeks ago, one of Jade's colleagues came in. I think she hurt her ankle or something, and then she just remarked like, "Oh, are you a broken person now?"
Did you break
Yeah,
it? You pushed
she
it
did
down,
not like that.
Uh-huh. It's all fun
She
and
did not
games until
like
she
it.
gets a fork and stabs you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, probably not a good idea to tell your work colleagues like, "Oh, are you a broken person now?" No.
Yeah.
Does that mean we pay you less?
No, but that is important though, because work I'm not trustworthy of many people. My circle is as tight as a Cheerio. Like, I don't trust many people at all. And then you layer of your vulnerability scale to what you're willing to show them, because there's a risk matrix basically, and it's terrible to put this into math, but that's just in my mind, and of
Right.
like what you can risk to show somebody, and will they use it against you? And sometimes you have up, and you'll tell someone too much, and they will stab you in the back.
Mm-hmm.
That happens often, actually, to a lot of people. And then you learn like what type of people you want at the layers. It's interesting and all that. Talk about change.
Right.
Like you're realistically, one of my favorite phrases is God, please watch my friends because I can handle my enemies. It's one of my favorite phrases.
I like that
Talk
one.
about change.
I like that one. I haven't heard that one. And you're right. You do have to, kind of reevaluate constantly. And for some reason, when you were talking about that, CK, all I could see is you sitting there with a calculator going, okay, you're 1.2. She's a 3. Oh, you're a -6. Fuck off.
I got my little abacus. I got an abacus over here.
There you go. Okay.
Yes,
I
use the
can
abacus.
totally buy that with CK.
Yep.
I think any of us in the number world kind of do that.
I claimed my dad was putting his will together like a couple of years ago, and like my brothers and sisters, they want this monetary asset or this. I want his green visor from when he was an accountant and he had to wear the green visor. That was the only thing I claimed. I want to have that green old school accountant visor.
Oh yeah. See, that
I
would be
have
cool.
one of those.
That's it. That's the only thing I claimed.
We have
That works.
clear plastic green ones. We use them as a joke in our bureau. But yeah, it's a lot of us get migraines. And so they got these for what if you've got a headache or something, you can put it on so it filters the light. But yeah, we all did a banker's picture with the green
Well, that's
visor.
Yeah, if I was to
So-
ever do an NFT project, that's got to be a trade. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So I gotta ask. So when you get a migraine at work, your boss hands you a little visor, says, "Keep working, but put this on." There you go. It's all better. Shut up. Works today. Work.
No, it's just it was kind of a here, let me try to help. Let me make it better. Let me try to help filter that light so it's not
Right.
quite as bright in your eyes, because a lot of us that get migraines are very light sensitive.
Right.
And we're in a lot of fluorescent lights. And it can get horrible.
Is that
Have they
blue
thought
light?
about changing the lights?
They won't. We've even tried dimming them, but then other people complain it's not bright enough.
Of
Can't make
course.
anybody happy.
So,
Yeah.
True.
so we all
Really
have green
gone.
visors. So
works.
yeah.
That works.
Just on that note, I was just gonna say my biggest complaint about working in an office building with like other people is
Yeah.
the other people.
Yeah.
Because if like you're not seated in the correct area, like cubicle in the office, your area might be 10 degrees hotter than the other person's, and then like people's body temperatures are very different how they run. I run hot. I run very hot. I like things to be cold. I sweat a lot.
Too hot to handle, baby.
You would love my office.
Other people are always cold, right? And like they're wearing sweaters, and I'm just wearing like a collared shirt. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves of an office, with like the fighting over the thermostat.
We all have blankets and sweaters. Some departments, they're always wearing like gloves, and we've got heaters under our desks because
Wow.
they keep it. It was 62 degrees in one of our supervisor's offices this morning
Oh wow.
when she got to work.
That's a little
Yeah.
What's that thing that is
And we found
low?
out some of the offices didn't get attached to the HVAC system when they upgraded, so they roast.
Oh.
So it's like, oh, that was not good planning. You'd think
But
you'd
you know, if
attach
you
it all,
change it,
but
then somebody's gonna have a fit about it. They're like, "No, I don't want." Yeah.
Hmm.
It all comes back to that change aspect. Anytime something changes, it's not what we're used to, and so it's like, no, now it's a fight or flight, or how are we going to deal with that? And that's one of the hardest things I think we all have to deal with is when something does change, whether it's something in the home or the family or a business or work or employment. That's when really that trauma kicks in. Don't get choked up, Wild Angel. It's okay. Yeah, you'll be fine.
I think just to add, I mean, just for my life lessons, I've become comfortable with change. I'm more comfortable in change than I am in not in change. Most people like routine. And most humans, probably 90%, prefer a routine. Look at dogs. They have their routine, right? They wake up a certain time. They know when to go outside. And if you throw them off or you put them into a new house, they're all sequestered and they don't know what's going on. You know,
Yeah.
Humans like to kind of have a routine because it's like, you know, it keeps their mind going and running and busy. I've learned to just be comfortable in change, and being the only constant in life is change. Just be comfortable with it.
There you go. So, you know, if somebody's going through a change, they're having problems right now, what would you recommend? How to adapt, or, you know, how to embrace your change that you're running, CK? What would you advise them to, you know, start welcoming it instead of being afraid of it?
A lot of times in life, when there's a change, say your capacity or your daily routines or hobbies or activities, say you're at 100%, like you do this, you go to work, you golf, whatever, I don't know, whatever your hobby is, play video games, whatever, right? And you're in this routine and things change. So now space is moved out of your life for better things to come in. And that's the way you have to see it. Now you have an opportunity, because you have more time, to go after that dream you might have had, or that hobby you wanted to try. Maybe it's archery, and that is so random because I don't know archery at all. But but that's the way I see it. You know, one door closes, another opens, and it doesn't have to be completely shut. It's fluid, and that's the way I view it, honestly.
I like that.
I like that.
It is a good way.
Well said.
That is good. And, you know, that's one thing that I
might not be my first life.
probably not. I think we've all been here at least once or twice. Ain't my first rodeo. But, you know, that's one thing that I've you know, been looking at for Down Home Cryptos. I haven't had a lot of deep in project, a lot of things to really talk about or break down, and kind of struggling. Like, okay, we need to put some content out, need to do something. And actually started streaming over on Twitch with my daughter Ray, who, if you are a Twitch game watcher, she's Ghostfacey6. Definitely go out, give her a like and subscribe if you would. And I made one Serenity DHC. And so I started every night at 8 o'clock Mountain Time streaming our gameplay. Something to change it up. Add a little bit of not just the numbers, but there's other things to life than just making a buck. And it's kind of scary because now it's like, okay, we've got the whole community and everything, but now I'm going to start doing a little bit of game streaming for fun. Not because I'm giving up on crypto by any means, but just changing it up. And so like you're talking, CK, okay, maybe there's not a lot of deep in or a lot of things out there that's really, you know, content worthy, but hey, let's have some fun with it. Let's keep the community going, keeping that connection, and let people know you're always welcome to come game with us. We're in the Down Home Crypto Discord gaming every night, except tonight we're going to a concert. Beyond that, if you see us in the chat, it's why game chat's there. Jump in, have some fun with us.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I thought it was like a closed thing. I thought like I heard from Alpha told me that you made a rule that only people that were invited were allowed in the room. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Me?
Seriously?
Me? I don't remember this.
He is the least exclusionary person on the planet.
I know. I'm not going to throw Alpha under the bus. It's impossible to throw him under the bus.
I love
Okay,
it.
where's
Gotta have
the
some fun.
hammer?
Yeah.
Fired.
No.
Fire.
I swear it wasn't me. I swear. I have no recollection
It
of
wasn't.
this.
We're just totally picking on Alpha because we can. So, Wild Angel, now you are a very organized person. You're a bento box kind of girl. If it don't fit in the box, they don't go. And everything fits in the box. So, when things change up, when your life just throws you a curveball, how do you find the best way to deal with it?
Sometimes I have to empty the bento box upside down and reorganize.
Just dump that shit out?
Have you seen me clean out my craft closet?
She just dumps that shit out. Yeah, totally. I can guarantee that. Throw the shit
When I
for
can't
distance.
find stuff,
Then I'll figure it out.
right? Or when I've got a big project coming, or hey, I'm done with a project and I'm moving on to the next one. Getting ready for school. I cleaned out the closet. I cleaned out my bedside table. I cleaned out my craft closet. I cleaned out next to my corner in the couch, and I had to
was
get
a
it
mess.
all organized. It took me about 3 weekends to do it, but it's all organized. It looks a lot better, and I can find what I need much quicker. And so that's kind of my way of dealing with shit going south. I will dump the bento boxes upside down and reorganize them. Maybe that's reprioritizing, or handing something off. I handed off washing the sheets and the blankets every week because I'm going to school and now I need that time to focus. I prioritize schoolwork over crafting. So I shuffle. That's my way, is I reallocate my time or my energy to what needs to be handled. And sometimes I just have to admit, I can't do this. I don't have the mental energy to dedicate to something like that whole situation at work.
Drawing
At
boundaries.
Lowe's. I did have to draw a boundary this week, and we'll see how that plays out. But it's reallocating. It's giving new boundaries. And I kind of have to sometimes make it about me.
Yep.
I'm a mom and I'm a parent. Serenity knows we do anything for our kids.
Yeah.
I will do anything for my family before I do something for me. And sometimes I'm learning I just have to say, I need this for me. Here's a wall. Stop. So, right.
Time.
This is me.
It's
So-
a balance. Yeah, and it's a
It
weird
is.
time. Especially, I mean, for you guys too, like just as difficult as it is. So I'm technically a millennial, but I'm like the last year or two of a millennial. I was born in '93. It's really weird for my age group because of everything that has changed from 2001, what happened in 2008, to the whole economic situation. You can't just get a job and get a house anymore. Like, when I was growing up, you pretty much you have to go to college, then you'll get a job.
Right.
You have to take out $100,000 loan. Like, I wasn't educated enough to know the difference, really, and that's what it was at the time, right? But it affects your guys' generation the same way that I see it in my parents, because, like, okay, so my brother is 34, he just had his first kid, and my sister is 28, and she's having her first kid. Rewind that a generation ago, that would have been 18 and 23 having their first
I
kid.
was 18.
Right.
And the parents are kind of I don't want to say stuck, but the length that they have to give to their children to give them the opportunities they can has been stretched out by at least 10 years comparably of more work. And then there's the balance of then kind of like, taking back hobbies. Like, example, like my dad has picked up golfing since that's what his thing he's picked up. Just an example. It's not only like the changes in the world, I think they affect everybody. It's not, I hate when people say like F boomers or F millennials or F Gen Z. I mean, Gen Z is a little weird. But
Thank you. I know we're Gen X, aren't we?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, we're the
but
fuck around and find out generation.
yeah.
I'm Gen Z, technically.
Yeah, we're all living in this beautifulness, basically. So
Absolutely. And so, guys, I do hate to do this, but I do got to cut it short tonight because we do have a concert to go to.
Yeah.
But I really want to give you guys one last chance to give a piece of advice. If somebody's out there struggling with a change, kind of like I was, first and foremost, I want to let you know you're not alone. We all go through struggles. We all have to fight change. We all have to embrace it or fight with it. We got to find a way to deal with it because it's going to happen. Life is all about change, and everything will constantly change. And whatever we said today is probably wrong by the time you watch the rerun tomorrow. So does it make us wrong now? No, it just means that things have changed. And we're seeing that accelerate faster and faster through technology, through everything going on in the world. Man, what happened last week is totally irrelevant. Just getting scarier. So it is terrifying. And I can tell you firsthand that the best way to do it is to share it with my family. You guys and gals that are here with us tonight, and whoever's watching this again on the restream, hey, I have no problem telling you, yeah, I've been fighting with it. And I reach out to the people that can support us. And everyone at Down Home Crypto is there to support. So if you're not already part of the community, make sure to jump in, get to know these people, because there's always somebody here who can help you through this journey. But guys, if somebody's fighting this battle right now, let's give us one last piece of advice to take them out with, to give them some inspiration, some hope on what's coming next. So Alpha, what do you got for us, brother?
I think I'll go with what CK mentioned earlier. Mindfulness meditations help a lot. Oh, they honestly do. I mean, I just mentioned I'm not good at dealing with emotions because I don't feel anything for a long time. And generally, the only way for me to actually realize this change and to deal with it is to be mindful of what the change is, how it affects me, and what I can do going forward. You need to center yourself. You need to ground yourself and realize that, okay, things have changed. This is how they changed. There's probably going to be more change. And this is how I can deal with it. You need to be the tranquil boat on the ocean. Even though the ocean is storming, you're just like, I'm tranquil. I'm chilled. Let me be.
Leave me alone.
And make a joke out of it. That always helps.
Got to have fun in life. Nobody gets out alive. Absolutely. So what do you got for us, CK?
Not to one up the Alpha.
He stole it.
No, not the one up you. No. So just the one. I loved everything you said. The one word though, you said deal with it. I say, enjoy it. That's the way I try and look at things. And it's hard. It's hard to get to that point. Trust me. I'm not perfect. It took me. 7 years on mindfulness meditation now, nightly. Like it's a long time to get here, but just a good quick analogy. And I love this one is, pretend your mind and the thoughts are racing by is a highway, right? It's just a highway of cars, and your mind, and it's just all the cars are like, oh, my son needs money. I gotta go to this practice. I have to go to this doctor. It's like bing, 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 bing. Just like get out of the car, sit on the side of the highway, and just let the cars go by, and create space in your mind. And when you create space, then you can just objectively look at things, and you don't feel so overwhelmed. And you're like, okay, I'll deal with this, and then I'll deal with that. It's creating space for yourself. That's one of the practices. So,
I like that. Good advice. So, Wild Angel, give us the feminine view of how to deal with stress and survive it.
Change has the word change has a negative connotation. People hear change and go, oh God, this is bad. Change is just evolution. It might be a mutation, it might be an evolution, but it's just a status shift. So when in doubt, be a duck and just let it wash right over you and roll off. Be a duck.
I like that.
And leave ducks laying around. But be a duck. Just let it roll right off your feathers. It's just a change, a shift, an evolution, maybe a mutation, but those could be fun. But it's just an evolution because everything is constantly evolving.
I was really hoping you were going to say, when in doubt, thug it out. But
Quack it out. There you go.
Quack it out.
Okay, we're gonna let Rose and Side know they need a shirt that says, when in doubt, quack it out. Okay.
Quack it out.
Yes.
I had a psychology professor like a decade ago who, before a test, had us all sit there in class and quack. Because making a conscious noise, whether it's humming, quacking, chirping, meowing, whatever, short circuits that stress reaction in your brain.
Oh.
It is proven psychological theory. So she had us quack it out before a test. And the grades were actually 20% higher.
Really?
Everyone needs to quack it out. I think
Yeah.
that's the moral
Somebody
of the
needs to quack
story.
it out.
Another
But we
ti-
need to get the quack out of here.
Yeah,
we
you
got-
do.
Another time we
do.
can delve into that. I've studied deeply into the flight or flight things and saw that stuff. Another day, another night. You guys
Nice. Yeah.
We'll get
We'll
together.
definitely have another
CK.
topic that. But so, guys, in leaving you tonight, I want to remind you that you are not alone in this. And whether it's quacking it out, whether it's riding the wave, whether it's sitting on the highway and watching it for a minute, the biggest thing to remember is you are not alone. And there are others out there going through the same trauma, going through the same stress, and we are here for you. We're here to help, to share, sometimes just to listen to you rant, whatever it takes, because here we're not going to judge. And so, it's okay to be in DHC and know it as a safe zone, because that's what it is. And if at any point in time you feel it's not, please let me know personally. I will make sure it stays that way, because that's what we're all about. And we want to make sure we're here supporting you in whatever your adventure is. So once you all stay safe out there, and when in stress, share it. Just quack it out. Let the world know what's going on. And I guarantee somebody's going to be there to help. So stay
Or
safe
just
out
sing-
there.
Or just sing, I've got a
Yeah.
lovely bunch of coconuts
That's
standing
dilly
in the
dilly.
lap." Just do that. It helps.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
earworms! Earworms! Oh,
That's the lemonade.
It's going to be stuck in your head.
Quack, 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 the lemonade stand. Quack, 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 quack.
thank you, CK.
It's never going to go away, I think. I'll be driving to the concert singing I've Got a Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. But hey, that's what makes us fun.
I
Love you
that
guys.
song.
Have a safe weekend. We'll catch you all next Friday. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I've walked through the fire, chased every shadow from my past. I held my breath through every storm and called the silence home. I buried dreams I couldn't save. I've left behind all that I crave, but still somehow I found the light lingering beyond the fight. Serenity, come carry me where the noise no longer echoes in my mind. Let the waters rise and wipe me clean. Leave the fear and weight behind. I've made it through the wreckage, now I float in open sea. At last I breathe serenity. No longer running from my name, no longer needing someone to blame. I found the power in release, the strength inside of peace. My heart no